Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Standing. I am the director, writer, producer of the feature film Discovering Bigfoot, and I'm in British Columbia, and I do Sasquatch research. I'm here because you guys always have fantastic, amazing questions, um, and I'm looking forward to some amazing questions like always. What's going on with Bigfoot stuff? Right now, it's fall. I need to get some amazing. I need more footage for Discovering Bigfoot Part 2 that I'm working on, and yeah, that's kind of the goal. That's what we're working on. Um, why is this just not popping up and staying up? I see people chatting, and it goes away. Stop going away. This could be really annoying today. How's it going, guys? There's Cappy McCappy, and stuff keeps disappearing. I don't know why. Why is it not staying? So, yeah, thanks for and Kyla Cox. How's it going? What is going on? Hoo, hoo, hoo. Um, so yeah, the weather is good out here, and not doing any more expeditions this year. Those are all done, and they went very well. The TV shows. I haven't. I'm in an Australian TV show. What's that one called? Hamish and Andy, and waiting for that one to come out. And we're having some crappy little glitches here. So hello from NZ. What's NZ? Is that New Zealand? Man, it's so amazing the people that tune in. The internet's so cool for that stuff. And I know that people like Amanda from the UK, it's freaking hella late right now for them. So anyways, let's hope that the internet holds up really well. And Uday says hello. We call them Magao here in Bhutan in Asia. They're more frequently sighted in Bhutan than in Nepal. That is so cool. So Uday, so you call them Magao here so you're from Bhutan in Asia. That is so amazing. You know, I've heard, and this theory sounds really solid to me. So people talking about Bhutan or the Yeti, Yeti, Yeren. What I've seen and what the evidence kind of shows. Hey Phil, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for showing up and mediating for me. What I've heard about, anyways, Yeti Yeren, that being in Asia, is the evidence shows they're a little bit smaller. In fact, they're notably smaller, and more aggressive, and that's sort of in the biology to do with real living beings like the Sasquatch and the Yeti. And I'm very convinced the Yeti is absolutely real. Just based on the evidence. I've never been there, but you know, considering they're here in North America, they're likely in Australia with the Yowie and the sightings and all the evidence. It's very, very significant. But what we do, or what I've done with my colleagues, is we compare pros up here. What's going on? Am I working right now? Oh, I had an important speech there. So what's the dealio, yo? Sorry, it froze up. So having glitches already, not good. I don't know if I should be talking. Totally frozen. Okay, there we go. So is the black bears in the Chinese, the black bears in Asia are smaller and more aggressive, and you know, the black bears here in North America are bigger and less aggressive, and I think that that's something that holds through. So just interesting stuff how we can make those deductions based on what we know about known and well-studied species. So anyway, I'll keep going with the questions. It just seem to be freezing up a lot. But hello, Lawrence James. He says, my friend, amazing Todd, you're awesome, bud. We appreciate your research and dedication. Well, thanks, Lawrence. And yeah, it's hard. So I appreciate everybody's research and dedication and all the people. Hey, Thomas Powell, how are you? Hello, Todd. Indian has Bigfoots. That's Robert Driggs says. Oh, Indiana has Bigfoots. That's fantastic to know. If you have evidence, if you have knowledge of Sasquatch in Indiana, please send us an email at what is that? The email address we have, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. So Donna says, how about a 20-incher? I'm sure you're talking about a 20-inch footprint. That sounds like maybe a foot that slipped. I highly When people say anything more than 17, anything more than 18 inches, I gotta kind of cringe. Maybe up in Alaska, I could swallow that 18-inch. I mean, you're talking the Sasquatch that I've seen and I've cataloged, their feet are 17 inches, 17 and a quarter, unless there's slippage, right, in the trackway. So that's a huge being. That's a 9 foot plus tall, 900 plus pound individual. So you put another inch on that foot, it just starts to indicate the potential for a significantly larger being. You start getting over 10 feet, you start getting over 1,000 pounds. It's really, man, I'm having trouble. Primatologists come up with me and they look at me and go, there's no way a being that big could live out here. And it's hard enough for them to accept the reality of what I know. So pushing that to another level is something I just really don't like doing, because scientists are so difficult to attract, and just to attract them to get their help. And scientists, I need their help. Okay, so back to questions about the little. There, it happens all the time, just the way it is. I'm getting lots of weird stuff happening today. So, hello from South Texas. Hello, South Texas. I'm doing good, Logan. Thanks for asking. Can you tell us why people introduce you as controversial researcher? Beth asked that, and it is annoying, isn't it? Because you know why I'm controversial? Because what I have is so tremendously significant. No offense to anybody, but Jeff Meldrum has never got a piece of footage. I don't even think he's cast his tracks. He's cast some tracks that are impressive. I think he must have cast some tracks with. I think he worked with Paul Freeman, if I remember correctly. And he did some casting with Paul Freeman. But the thing is, Beth, my stuff is so significant that if it's fake, I'm a huge faker, and if it's real, it's enormously significant. And if what I say is true, that's a big deal. So most people, Bob Gimlin talked about it when I met Bob Gimlin, and people were bashing me and calling me controversial. And he said, like Jeff Meldrum was there, John Bitternagel was there, Les Stroud was there, and none of them have any problems, because they can always walk away from my footage. They could always say, well, we thought it had some potential, but in the end, if it wasn't real, then it's not their responsibility. I'm the one that has to take responsibility for it. I'm the one that has my head on the chopping block, so to speak, and I'm the one that, it's because nobody has this kind of footage. It has 8 videos, who takes people out to watch over and over, so there's a lot of controversy involved in that, because I am telling the truth, and it's tremendously amazing evidence. So Will.I.am Garrett says, you shaved? Yes, I did shave. So lots of changes going on in my life right now. So I'm living, things are just crazy right now, but I'm working real hard on making an excellent production for Discovering Bigfoot Part 2. And so, we're fighting for that stuff right now. Deborah says, have you always wondered about the Sabas and some of the calls? Do you think certain ones are mating calls and other ones are talking to each other? And Deborah, I would say the calls are all nothing to do with Sasquatch. I don't really see them mostly not calling to each other. I'll tell you what, like for mating calls and stuff like that, I would say absolutely not. If you're talking about Sasquatch, you say Sabas, I'm assuming you mean Sasquatch. There was one call. So I think most of the time when they're calling out, they know where they are. They know they have the ability to communicate with each other. But the one call I'll never forget. So I was in Montana, and this has happened to me twice, but I'll talk about the time in Montana. The Sasquatch were coming out. It was crazy, amazing. They were super close. They were interacting with us. It was daytime. We had hours and hours to go. We'd been there for maybe 2 or 3 hours. I could literally see them like one layer of trees back, and even stepping out from the sides, coming out of the cut lines, and they were there. And I was like, we're gonna get footage. It's gonna be an incredible day. This is gonna be a historic event. I remember up on the mountain behind us, we heard this, bah! And I looked up, and it was the big Sasquatch. It was tremendous. The ground almost shook. It was profound, and there's no speechless even right now just thinking about it. That's how amazing it was. So you look up to go, oh my God, and he's up there, and that's a big giant Sasquatch. And then I look back down, and all the Sasquatch were gone. They'd left. And logically and in my heart, what happened was they were getting too close. They were starting to interact with us too much. Dad was up there, the big dominant male was up on the hill watching the whole time. And he said enough. And when he said stop, it stopped. We didn't see the Sasquatch again for a month. So they probably were getting in heck. And yeah, so, that's one of the very few examples that I can would deduce that there was definitely something going on there. So Parkway Dweller says my foot's 12 inches. That's a size 14. That's a big foot. So Brandon Holm, I got whooped at hunting last Saturday night and found a large pile of scat. Then seen him the next day. I really do not think we had them as close to the Spokane, Washington as I was near Seekling Lake. Well, Brandon, we'd love to hear about that at what the heck is the web? Anyways, the website, the web address I mentioned earlier, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. You got whooped at last Saturday night. You found a huge pile of scat. We should take a picture of that scat. I'd like to look at. What's crazy about the scat is I've only found maybe less than a dozen, even less than 10 Sasquatch scat piles in my life, and never found any signs of meat, and yet they follow the elk around. So maybe it was the time of year, and but I haven't got scat this year or last year. It's been at least 4 years since I've even seen scat from them. So, but I haven't been going backcountry as much as I used to, and taking the risks that I need to do, and that's what I'm going to start doing tomorrow. Is backcountry, kicking some ass, taking big risks, really sticking my neck out there, going into hardcore backcountry, where no people go, and taking it to the level it needs to go to. So, hi Todd, you mentioned that Sasquatch was intrigued by blonde hair. Have you ever considered bringing blonde wigs for the expeditioners to wear? No. I also like to be authentic. I like people to be who they are, because that's how the Sasquatch are going to find that reason to connect with you. Like bringing there's not many black people that are here in the areas that I live in. So in fact, the colored, like African American, those people are pretty, like 1 in 100 where I live. So there's more Chinese, there's more, even probably more Japanese, and much more Filipinos. So maybe a black person would be intriguing to them, and I've taken a couple black people out on expedition, right? So, and even somebody India from Indian, Atar, who's usually on here. So, I just like to be authentic. I'm not going to start doing that sort of stuff. I just like to keep people real. So, hello, Danielle. Thank you for coming in. Oh, there's Atar. I just had to scroll down a little bit. Peace and blessings to you too, my friend. So, yeah, age 80 nights. I'm just trying to scroll down through here. Lindsay Bay says, can you tell us about any of your recent research, Todd? Big supporter and huge fan. Please let me know what I can do from my small corner of the universe to assist you in your quest. Well, donations help a lot, Lindsay. The monthly donators have been huge, and I'm going to start, froze up here. Just wait a second. I'd sing a song, but I'm a terrible singer right now. Hey, Maria, I'm just going to say hey to people. So, William Garrett lived in Central Florida. My 48 years in rural swamps, woods. I've seen a skunk ape twice in my life, I believe. That's awesome. And yeah, they called them skunk apes, in case you guys can hear me right now. Will.i.am Garrett. Yeah, that's amazing. 40, so I'm just reading here. Will.i.am Garrett lived, my screen is flashing really strangely. Some weird stuff's going on right here. 48 years in rural swamps, and he saw them twice. Isn't that crazy? That's why footage is so freaking incredibly impossible. So anyways, Lindsay asked what she can do to help. I talked about donations. It's huge. I'm going to start giving lots back to my monthly donators. Just going to start doing, once my expeditions and once I get my research done for this year. This is just such a really good time. Right now, everything's fat. The elk are fat. The Sasquatch have put on their weight. And everybody knows that winter is coming, the season is changing, and I got to get footage before the snow flies. There has been snow on and off, and I don't even the only expeditioners I would take out right now are dudes that are seriously tough, like hardcore, tough dudes. Because, excuse me, it's so hard sleeping out in the bush when it's snowing and it's wet and the weather can go to hell. And but this is the best time of year for footage. Always the best time of year. So I'm just fighting for that. I've got a whole bunch of plans implemented, plan A, B, C, D, and I'm fighting for all that stuff. So that's just what I can say right now about what's going on. So Lawrence James says, hey, so Sakilo Neo wears size 22, 7'1". That's not normal for a Sasquatch to have bigger or same size, definitely not the same width. And Lawrence, it's hard for me. See, that's a good argument to say, well, why couldn't there be a 20-inch foot for a Sasquatch? But I don't know. It's going to be, I don't know, it'd be so weird. Do gorillas do that? Are there giant gorillas? Like, there seems to be that graph that you would draw where it's the perfect height, perfect weight, where any bigger, he's going to be too big. He's not going to be enough food. He's going to get crippled fast. He's going to not be as agile and fast. Like, even, you look at the UFC, I'm a good fan. I'm an original mixed martial artist from decades ago. I was studying jiu-jitsu and grappling and Muay Thai before it was ever even introduced. But what we've learned is really there's a certain height and weight that, the 7-foot tall guys they're smoked in the UFC. We've only had a couple of contenders that were over 7 feet tall that made the top 10. So there's a certain height and weight that's you're the fastest, you're the most agile, you get that perfect thing going on. And quite clearly the UFC has shown it's between 6'2" and like 6'4". Those are the toughest men on the planet. Guys that are bigger than that, too long, too slow, just don't have that perfect package. And it's so hard for me because, man, the Sasquatch are so big. So I think I've seen a few examples of people talk about larger than 17-inch tracks, and then I see slide in the track and there's slippage and stuff. So, but you're right, there could be in Alaska there could be a 20-inch foot from this giant Sasquatch that could be big there. I mean, the bears out there are enormous, right? So it's just logically that the Sasquatch are going to be bigger. But anyways, I'm freezing up here a little bit, sorry. Fram says, hey Todd, respect your work, respect you. Why did you not show what happened before and after you filmed the multiple Sasquatch? Can you release the before and after videos? And John, oh man, John, what a good question. I'm gonna wait till this kind of unfreezes here. See what's going on. Looks really frozen. I really want to answer that question. That's such a great question because it's something that's been plaguing me forever. Okay, so you guys can probably hear me. So John asked, why didn't I do the before and after? And the truth is, the meat of it and the before and after. I mean, well, the truth of that is too. If you're asking what footage, I had no footage. You look at video 5. I'm showing the crappy footage as I approached. I turned the camera off to conserve battery. I turned the camera on. I got some crappy footage. So, and there's no answering that question about the before and after footage of my videos. So I guess first and foremost, there is no before footage. The footage is the footage. I showed everything I had. The incidents or the events that led up to before I got there and what happened after, I am very excited to do that. I mean, I'm going to want to put that in my next documentary for sure, because it's people have no idea. I mean, I failed 10 times to get every one piece of footage at least, even more probably, honestly. If every day that I don't get footage is not successful, then I failed 100 times for every day I got a blobby Sasquatch video. And as a really not my. What's my scare? Wow. Anyway, so I was talking about my scariest encounter this year was actually with a grizzly bear. I had this. I was unarmed. I went out with my dog. And I had a grizzly bear sow, and she had 2 cubs that were big, a male and a female. She ran off with the female. My dog is a Rottweiler, pissed off and making lots of noise. And I know he's only a 2.5-year-old grizzly bear, so he's probably about, maybe 200 pounds, maybe less, like 150, but still a grizzly bear, and he could cause a lot of damage. So I started to back off, and then he kept coming at me, and I'm unarmed, and I didn't want to shoot my bear banger because, well, actually, it was probably worse. That wasn't the worst time this year, but I actually got predatorily attacked from a black bear. Who scariest stuff this year has by far been wow. And anyways, so I just this year it's been grizzly bears and black bears. I've just had a lot of trouble with them this year. It sucked. So Mount Shasta AL. This is from Justin. Sorry, it's flashing. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this stupid program, but I will go anywhere in those mountains. Will you? I guarantee this will be fascinating and reveal the southern Sasquatch. And this is Justin talking about Mount Shalana, Shea AL, has statues dedicated to Sasquatch. And I'll go anywhere in those mountains. Well, I'd love to do that stuff, Justin. And you know, if I can mentor you, if I can help you, if you have questions about me helping with your research, dude, I'm like nickel and diming like it's tough to do research. I have to pay for all this myself, and I have all this crap going on in my life right now. It's so hard to do this research. It costs a fortune. I can't go from one place to another, and going into a new spot is okay. Try one last time. I don't know what's wrong with this stream. This is the worst ever, and I have a perfect internet connection. But anyways, I'll answer some more questions. There's Sasquatch. There's Sasquatch and Lake Arrowhead. There's a Sasquatch and Lake Arrowhead. Do you mean there's a Sasquatch at Lake Arrowhead, Frank? I know where Lake Arrowhead is. So that's fantastic. Am I going to the field anytime soon? Yeah, tomorrow. All next week, and tons and tons more. Also, Frank says there's a Bigfoot in Lake Arrowhead. It's probably not just one. It's probably a troop or something, right? There's probably multiple Sasquatch there. So, no, I missed the first half. That's okay, Mason. You can watch it later, if it can ever happen. What is going on here? Okay, so maybe we're still working. Thank you very much for the donation, Parkway Dweller. Mason froze up entirely here, so coughing because my throat is killing me from all these bloody expeditions, damaging my lungs from freezing my butt off and getting hypothermia 20 times, 30 times 4. I don't know. I'll be having hypothermia next week. Just what happens when you go backcountry and it's cold and you get wet and you just sort of forget about yourself. So Parkway, we still see your name as Parkway Dweller, not Parkway SRG. That's cool. Trying to donate. Yeah, well, to donate, you just go to the website, discoveringbigfoot.org. On the top of the page is a donation button there, and I really appreciate donations. Thank you so much. Can Sasquatch see our sense heat signatures from life forms in the forest, or even able to see? No, I don't think so. This is from I can't even pronounce it. Oswapak. I can't stand pronouncing those weird names. But no, if anything, they would feel your energy. They could sense your presence. I know that might sound weird, but anyways, that's the reality. Parkway Dweller says, I'm taking pictures. Fantastic. Really good luck. I wish you tremendous success with your pictures and your gathering of evidence, scats. Talk about, even if you got a camera, do some videos about what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what's going on, what you saw today, what's normal, what's weird. Just take those things. They're enormously advantageous yesterday. Hey, Todd. This is from Steve Bentley. Hey, Todd, any intelligence on Bigfoot burials? And just speculation. Look up Lang Chun, China for Gigantopithecus. See what you can deduce from that. It's pretty impressive stuff. There's the website to go make a donation. Anybody who wants to do that. Would be cool if you made a video recounting your experiences with a family of Bigfoot that held you down. All the details leading up to it and the details afterwards. Yeah, and that's something I'm going to do, right? So there's so much more going on. There's so much stuff happening out here. I mean, I wrote a book, started writing a book back in 2011, I think, and just did a synopsis and the chapters and all that stuff. And in 2012, I had all the way up to 2011 done. Or no, it wasn't even that. Anyways, I have enough information to do 3 books easily, and that's just the really, really exciting, amazing stuff that's gone on. So, Andrew says, Todd, how many members are in the Sasquatch family that you're currently studying? I think I would say approximately 12 individuals, between 12 and 15. So that's my best guess. And that's really just an educated guess as best I can do. So Gretchen Walter says, we do have Sasquatch in Indiana. They have been reported around Swahini and in some of the southern parts of Indiana. That's so cool. There's so many places, so many states. Any tips I would have, I just say watch the Survivor Man Bigfoot episodes with me and watch the documentary of mine. There's lots of stuff in there. And then once you've watched that stuff, when you start implementing or trying to do the things that I've done or learning, even, look pretty deep. A lot of people are seeing stuff coming through that's not so obvious in what I'm doing and what I'm doing with Survivor Man. So, and then when you have questions based on that, that's another level, then by all means start asking them. That's why I'm here. Hey Todd, love your work. This is from Roy Clark. Would you care to address the naysayers who claim your sister created a special effects horror film you supposedly were creating and claims your name is Todd Rockwell? Well, see, Roy, that's so goddamn preposterous and ridiculous. My sister is never done anything special effects. Never. What I tell people is I go up to go say, hey, Roy, do you have a sister? And he goes, yeah. And do you know her well? And Roy will go, yeah, I love my sister. She's amazing. I love my sister. I know her really well. I raised her for part of her life. We're very close. And I go, so you know your sister well? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, your sister's a special effects makeup artist. And you would go, well, no, she's not. And this is the evidence. Are you waiting? Yes, she is. She's a special, and that's it. That's all they say. They say that, and it's ridiculous. But the Todd Rockwell came about because when I was trying to pay for my editing software for Sasquatch, so I have editing equipment, I have cameras, I was learning. So I was doing other little documentary style promo videos for people, and they didn't want to be affiliated with the Sasquatch guy, so I used the name Todd Rockwell for what we called ourselves Outstanding Productions, Outstanding Video Productions. So Todd Standing, Outstanding. And I was just trying to make a living, make money with my film and video equipment so I could keep doing Sasquatch and learn the process to make a documentary to do Bigfoot. So, and that's what I did. I didn't want people Googling my name because, I've always been very famous. And when you go into a bookstore and it's, a cool little family bookstore, they don't care about the Sasquatch guy. They don't want the Sasquatch guy. They want a good promo video for their business. And I had the honor and privilege of working with people that were very passionate. A limo company, studio, beautiful, beautiful people that have wonderful, mom and pop style businesses. And I got to do promo videos for them. So, they take a little piece of truth and they twist it and turn it, right? Except my sister's not a special effects makeup artist. She never has been. It's stupid as crap in the whole world. Just dumb. So it is really dumb. It's just so stupid. And it's hard for me to tolerate that crap because, it's just stupid. Don't forget the other one that my dad dated a woman who owned a fabric store. That was hot for a while. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? My dad's girlfriend went into a Fanny's fabric store and bought some curtain stuff because his girlfriend was making purple curtains right out of Edgar Allan Poe, right? And some Sasquatch guy saw him there and said, hey, I saw Todd's dad in a fabric store, Fanny's Fabric. So it's just stupid things that are so ridiculously preposterous, just retarded, and they go so far. They get momentum and people roll with them, and it's just stupid. So it blows my mind, the ridiculousness of stuff. So would love to travel. This is from Steve Bentley. Would love to travel to the U.S. and have the opportunity to spot one. What states would you recommend? Well, I love Washington State, and that's where I'm likely going there back in February on an expedition there with some people. So, yeah, I have a special place in my heart for Washington State, and the terrain is British Columbia, extremely similar because it's just south of where I live. So, yeah, and I love that state. It's for tracking and stuff. It's really I get it there. I can follow it, and yeah, there's really good Sasquatch out there. In Montana, I loved Montana too. I was born and raised in Alberta, and Montana is just south of Alberta, so the terrains were extremely similar, and I loved Montana. So yeah. So JF Fram says, hi Todd, not sure you answered. Respect your not sure what happened before. Oh, I did think I answered that. So, but remember again, the before and after, there's no more before and after. I showed you everything from when I hit record to when it stopped recording. So, yeah, thanks, Todd. Okay, I'm just gonna do a couple more questions, guys, because the internet's really crappy today. Todd, what types of primitive tools do you think Sasquatch use? I don't think anything. I've seen evidence of them picking up. I've seen them pick up sticks and they throw rocks, but as far as tools, I have no evidence of tools yet. So we'll leave that at that because there could be something more there. Not sure you have to contact Bigfoot Counter gmail.com. Cool. Yeah, Mason Sylvanic and SGR is saying something about Bigfoot Encounter at gmail.com. Todd, do you know Sasquatch are sophisticated fires? No, I don't. It's not that they're not sophisticated enough. They have no need for fire, and they don't want technology. They thoroughly dislike technology, and they stay away from technology. So, oh, and we're doing a newsletter too. Phil, you're so awesome. So yeah, Phil's doing a newsletter, which is amazing. Thank you so much for that, Phil. It's fantastic. I love that stuff. I'm gonna really pump that newsletter because Phil's doing an amazing job with putting it all together, and I got lots of stuff for him, so I think that's fantastic. Hey, Toddy, the biodome that your research site is in a tagline biodome, right? I don't know. The biodome that your research site is in is a Taji, right? I don't know what that means. So, yeah, I don't know. My research site is in the middle of nowhere, and then once you drive to the middle of nowhere, you got to hike even further in the middle of nowhere. So Brandon says, I forgot to add our bears near that lake, 355 pounds, not big bears, and the scat was 3-inch diameter, and if you would uncurl it, I bet it would be even 24-inch in length. That is, if your black bears are 350, that's decent sized black bears. So yeah. Oops, what's happening here? What's happening? I don't know. Okay. And then are Sasquatch in all mountains, wildernesses, North America? Is there Sasquatch? And I don't really know. There's a cool researcher, I think he's pretty cool, his name's Kreider, that's in New Mexico, I'm pretty sure, and he does some cool stuff, but I've never been there, and that would be really out of my element there. It'd be strange for me, so what the heck? I'm like zoomed in like crazy. There we go. Quit touching the screen so much. Do you think Sasquatch hibernate to some extent in northern climates? I don't think so. Maybe a little bit. I mean, they gotta chill out and lay around and be lethargic. So, but the term hibernation is it's a pretty strict term. So, yeah, I'm gonna strongly say no. Just like what primate hibernates, right? What evidence do we have that hibernation is a crazy? Just one more question here, guys. You guys are amazing. Every week the questions are outstanding. So, why is this the best season to research Sasquatch? Carolyn asks. Well, from where I'm from, in the Pacific Northwest, everything is the most abundant. We've had all the berries, the elk and the deer. Like everything got fat. Everything has to be fat now because they have to go through the hard winter months, right? And it seems that Sasquatch, this is a theory of mine, are intelligent enough to know when the ruts are going on and there's probably some kind of breeding thing that happens, or even like in the Native American people and the First Nations people, they did powwows and stuff like crazy. Like it's this Mardi Gras, this is Oktoberfest, right? This is, if you're not fat and healthy right now, you're not going to survive the winter. You're in deep trouble. So, and again, with the Sasquatch knowing that winter is coming, you're going to be bored, you're going to lie around, you can't do much, so you want to, get it all out. When it's summertime, you got months of playing and, you can dick around and do all sorts of, be conservative. But when I say goodbye after the snow flies, I won't see them again until spring. So I'll see you guys maybe in 6-7 months. The passes are going to be all full of snow. It's really just time to bed down and do nothing and be bored. And I think to me it's pretty clear that the Sasquatch, and then in the spring when they come out, well now it's time to get fat, and the food sources are scarce. So because it's spring, the snow just melted, the plant life is low, and and all the animals are skinny now, and they barely have survived the winter. Winter's hard, really, really hard. Animals have such a tough time surviving. So that's why now seems to be, and it is, there's no doubt about it. This is always the best time for me and my research, 100%. So just one more question here, guys. I probably said that a minute ago, but everything's just glitching like crazy here. Have you noticed the teepee structures and other structures kicked down to the ground structures and grounded look circuit board?